As this is Dr.Senthil Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of EEE, SNS College of Technology. Now this is our subject Analog Electronic Circuits 23WT 104. Right, we are sailing in unit number 5 for this video series, and we are going to discuss about the feedback amplifiers. First of all, what is an amplifier? You know that an amplifier is a electronic devices which consist of a transistor where a small signal can be amplified such that it can be processed for any instrumentation or for speaker application purposes, right? And now let me see the feedback amplifier. Why the feedback is required? The left hand side portion, a triangle is there which represents the amplifier, and which represents the amplifier where the amplifier gain is written as A, whereas the another green colored box which represents beta, which means that it is the feedback gain. One input is given to the amplifier and the output is taken, whereas in the output a junction is created, and yes, feedback element or the output value is measured and is given to the feedback such that it forms a closed loop system. The phenomenon of feeding a portion of the output signal back to the input is named as feedback. Now the output is fed back to the input and depends on the feedback. It is divided into two. One is a positive feedback and another one is the negative feedback. The positive feedback, if we see, it is S. Now let me see the positive and the negative feedback. In the positive feedback, the feedback energy, it may be the voltage or the current parameters, which is connected in such a way which is in phase, which is in phase to the input signal, then it is said to be a positive feedback. Whereas in the negative it is out of phase, right? Since the positive, we know that for an amplifier, the purpose of amplifier is to increase the gain. And similarly, since the output is connected to the input and it is in phase, therefore the gain increases further. Also, the distortion is also increases. Similarly, the noise is also increases, and the instability parameters also increases. You mean for a positive feedback, since the output is connected and it is in phase to the input, all the parameters which is done in an amplifier increases in nature. You mean the gain increases, which is the benefit to us, whereas distortion also increases, noise increases, and it is also the stability point decreases. You mean it is instability. Due to all these disadvantages, this positive feedback is seldom in use. You mean it is not all used here. Whereas since all the parameters are increasing nature, the instability increases. You mean it is not stable. Now say which electronic devices is not stable. You mean the oscillation continues. Very good answer is oscillator. Therefore, a positive feedback is also called as regenerative feedback, since it is utilized for oscillation. See here the positive feedback circuit, right? It is in phase. You mean the output of the feedback network is in phase. The same waveform will comes here, the first one is positive, whereas the output of the feedback is also the first one is positive, same output. whereas the actual output of a single stage amplifier is 180-degree invert. Is 180-degree invert. It is clearly mentioned here. Right now, let me see. Now, now let me see the negative feedback of an amplifier. The negative feedback in the next video series. Whereas here, the next before going to that, both the amplifier and the feedback network, there will be 180-degree shift. There will be 180-degree shift, right? For an amplifier, the input is first one is positive. Therefore, the output of amplifier, the first one is negative 180-degree shift, and the first one negative is connected to the feedback network such that the first one is positive again. First one is positive again. It is connected to the positive terminal, or the summation point is the positive, therefore it is positive feedback. Thank you for patient listening, and now let me see the negative feedback in the next video series. Thank you.